That's recording. Lovely. And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Monday the 13th of May already. I am buzzed for today's call. I reckon we're going to be busy.
Me too.
Are you kicking things off, Maurizio?
Up to you guys. All right, yeah, that's cool, man. How you guys doing today?
Oh, really good. Oh, it's my 50th birthday today.
Oh, is it?
How the fuck is that?
Good. Yeah, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. What
Yeah,
are you up to today? What are you doing today?
Well, my wife put out, which is a rare and special occasion for me. And I smuggled a grade 8 Wagyu prime rib back from Australia in my suitcase. So it's been dry brining in the fridge. So I'm gonna eat as much Wagyu as I can for dinner, and we're gonna do that Thai style with sticky rice and somtam, and the spicy dipping Nam Jim Jao dipping sauce. I see Ian's got the head nod going.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Yeah, and then yeah, I'm going to be trying to get to bed as close to my 8 p.m. bedtime as I can. That's my plan,
isn't it? And I tell you what, that talk of the food, that's more exciting than Bitcoin. So maybe we just talk about.
Oh, dude, 1 sec. Let me choose.
No, he's bringing the big guns in. Look at it.
Actually, before you do your full thing, Maurizio, I've got a slight market psychology. It's about a 3-minute thing that I want to run.
Let's do it, man. That's fantastic. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. Yeah, no problem.
I know he's going to come bursting back in the room in a minute, so I won't start until he.
Why she's bringing in, man?
Back. What is this?
Holy shit! That looks fantastic, man.
Round meat programming.
Yep.
Dry brining in the fridge. Oh yeah.
Oh man!
Because it was smuggled into the country.
Yeah, I'm a smart brother.
Nice. All right then. So, what I'd just like to talk about for 2 minutes before Maurizio gets going is just a little bit of market psychology. So, first of all, just to explain what we're looking at here. This first blue line was the halving. This second blue line, this is just an arbitrary estimation of the amount of time after the halving before Bitcoin really hits its exponential phase. The way that I got to that number was to go back through every other halving and basically count all of the days. And it's give or take around kind of 150 days, but it is just purely a marker. So we're in this channel at the moment, okay? The black line being the channel, roughly about 60,000. And then we've got the new all-time highs up there at 70. Now, this green line, this is showcasing these downside wicks. And it's these downside wicks that I want to focus on for a minute with the psychology.
So dig into what a downside wick is. It's someone getting scared and dumping and cheating their positions, right?
It is. It's an extreme. A wick is an extreme. So if it's a downside wick, it's an extreme fear. So if we think of the market's mentality, whoosh, we're going up, everybody's happy, it's going up. We do a retest, okay, that's perfectly normal. We start ranging, then we start seeing more of these downside wicks. And what I believe is going on in people's heads is, we're on this candle here, people are thinking, this should hold. We've just it hasn't hold. It hasn't, it's gone again.
It caught everyone by surprise, is what you're trying to say. And
exactly.
And a surprise move is a bigger move. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
I believe that you know how FUD starts? Well, I think this is how FUD starts because people get here and they think it should have held. So when it goes back up again, it's that, we're okay there. We're okay. And then we get another downside wick. And then this is where people really get into that. If it doesn't hold, we're going to hit 50. And this is where the investor sentiment can change. And we talk about weak hands being shook out. This is how weak hands get shaken out of the market with these.
So we're 10 weeks now, right? 10 weeks of this shit.
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, it's just sideways and seemingly going down. But on the other side, these downside wicks are what give us the stink bid buying opportunities. So if we put our lower bids in, when we get these downside wicks, that tends to be what devalues alts, woomph, and then we get our early entry price. And the earlier the entry price we've got, the more gains that we make.
So question for you, what technical buy setup do we have exacted on a break of the weekly high here?
I think we've got a 2-in-1 candle there, haven't we? Giving us an RTC.
RTV.
Oh, there we go then. Still fucked that up.
Significant low, highest, a significant low, higher close on the hammer, and then a lower close without breaking low.
Damn hammers catch me out each time. Yeah, so hopefully now we're going to start to, you know, make our way back up to the top of the range. And then we can, you know, we can say, okay, if we get to the top of the range, if we hold it, then we could give a percentage for us going up. But there's nothing indicating that we are going to hold it and go up. Like, we're still going to go up, but I'm just imagining that we're going to just see more of this sideways action. But I'm starting to get towards the end of my
so you're thinking that we break to the downside, shake more people out. That's what I'm hearing.
I do.
Yes. So I think the opposite.
Nice. That's what makes it a
That's
market.
perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. So yeah, it could easily happen. Could easily happen. One more would probably be the buying up of buying ops, right?
Oh yeah, if you're accumulating Bitcoin, these wicks are lovely.
Oh, bang.
Thank you, Maurizio. I'll hand over
Yeah.
to you.
No, that's cool.
That's really insightful. You go next.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And that actually agrees with what I have. Let me just share my screen. Because essentially what I'm from the weekly, just close the weekly. So let's go through Bitcoin first, right? So in terms of all the weekly stuff that we drawn a while back, right? We are holding right there on that range. And I've been talking about the whole week that we have this range from.
This is still totally consistent with a bull market, with a pullback in a bull market, right? Like
Exactly right.
If we look at what's the character of the up move, was like mostly greens, occasional red, not a lot of between bars. The characteristic of the down move has been lots of wicks, lots of overlaps, lots of red, green, red, green, red, green, lots of sideways. So
exactly.
Certainly easier going up than going to, it's like riding a wave on the way up and pushing against the tide on the way down.
Correct. So essentially everything's falling around this level. So psychologically speaking, you can actually say that people are accepting this as a new price, right, from Bitcoin. However, this is a big one here, which is the 60K level, which was broken last week. If we broken that, I think still would have a chance to go down these levels. Let's see how this holds this week. I was looking at something that I was looking at, and I was paying close attention last week, was the address on exchange. So let me just move this thing. Give me 1 second. So in terms of the addressing on the where was it?
This is interesting, man.
Because when we had the dump, so I just put this chart, this been monitoring. When we had the dump, we had a bunch of increase of Bitcoin on the exchange. So obviously, if we have more Bitcoins on the exchange, people are willing to sell. But now that sort of stopped right there. So we are in the verge of, if this goes down, so we can see that perhaps people are just willing to take it off as changes. I don't see it yet. So it's just you can actually see all this thing coming down, which is people taking it out from the exchange. This is sort of the bottom on that. People start putting on the exchanges. We had a little bit of a pullback right here.
So there was a lot of long-term holders sold into that rally.
Yeah.
So it's, and if you think about it, it's perfectly natural human behavior. I bought in 2021 at 69,000. I didn't know what I was doing. I fucking hate Bitcoin, man. It went down every day for a year. It got to 16. It looked like it was fucked. I got made fun of at Christmas. Back to 70, I got my money back. Fuck this game. Fuck it, I'm out. So in my mind, this is what's happening here is that the market has absorbed a bunch of supply from these old guys. Can you, if you've got Glassnode open, do you want to load up some long-term supply, long-term supply charts as well? I think that'll be interesting.
There is anybody that wants to dabble with this that's on the call today. There's another site called Look Into Bitcoin. That will give you a whole host of stuff for free before you do any paid stuff with Glassnode, which is pretty eye-watering if you want the full suite.
You've got my paid account though, right?
Yeah, this is the one.
$30 account or something.
Yeah, I've got I used to pay for the $700 account, but I wasn't getting enough use out of it.
Yeah,
this is the one. This is the one. So we have the number of active addresses right here. Let's have a look. So it's definitely going down in a way. So obviously that means, in my view, obviously that means that people are getting like not.
Can you
looking
just search for a long-term holder supply?
Whereabouts is that one?
If you just filter metrics and just type in long-term holder. Yeah. You can see what happened, right?
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
You can see as we got sort of above that second last bump, as we made the run up, all these long-term holders, they jeeted. What is that? Like from like nearly 15 million down to 13.8.
Yep.
Like you'd call it 1.2 million Bitcoin worth of supply has been changed hands.
Definitely, and you can see the correlation.
And
yeah, very correlated with it. Yeah,
you can see what's happening. Just like now, we're getting that. Okay, long-term holders sold them at 70, starting to buy them back at starting to buy them back at 60.
Looks like it.
I think that was the obvious move, right?
And it makes sense, and that actually correlates with the inflows on where is it? Right here. The inflows on the ETFs, right? Because what happens is in the last couple of weeks, the inflows actually just died essentially. Started to be recuperated a little bit. So that correlates exactly with that. So yeah.
Yeah, and those inflows were reflexive. So they pushed us further than we should have gone on the way up, and they pull us further than we should have gone on the way down.
Yeah, I exactly agree. What I'm paying close attention on that is just to make sure that this sort of start easing up. You know what I mean? Like if we start seeing this up, I think we might have a longer dip. Like we might push down the price around these levels, around the 52, because there's not much support around this. So that in terms of liquidity levels and stuff like that, I think this could be the next level if we start seeing more address, more addresses, the exchange addresses increasing. That's kind of my view. So I'm keeping a close eye on that on a daily basis, but it's still holding pretty okay. It's still now starts sort of getting the momentum down, so could hold. If that's the case, more than likely these levels are still good, really strong, right? You can actually see how much these levels are actually holding in terms of the weekly side of things. So yeah, so far so good. Very bullish though, really bullish. If he holds this, more than likely I will see we can get another fake out here. What do you reckon, Scott? Because
I think all the guys who are going to sell at all-time highs, I think the evidence we've just looked at is that all the guys who are going to sell at 70K just sold. So who the fuck else is going to sell? I don't think a double top is a very high probability. I think either it goes lower, flash crashes down, really scares the hose,
Mhm.
Or I think it looks to me like we're probably going to hold here. Is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, yeah. I can definitely see how strong this thing is. Like, definitely how strong these levels are, right? Like, when we're talking about first week here that with the pullback started, so that sort of marked this first level. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks above this level. And every single week we were trying to break it down. And 10 weeks just holding, it looks like it could be a really, really strong level to hold from that perspective. So I agree with Ian, obviously, in terms of that could change though. Obviously, the problem with the psychology is that a lot of people are aware of the halving now. Like it's a massive thing about the halving, about the thing. The only difference now, I think, is the ETFs. So because it's the first time that we have an ETF and a halving, therefore how people are reacting, that's the
I
we
think
don't
that
have history
it's more
of
than
that.
that.
Yeah.
I always thought conceptually it doesn't make any sense that you can get a piece of information that is widely known and make an alpha profit from it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Everyone knew the halving was coming. It's happened 4 times in a row. People were assuming that it was a guaranteed slam dunk and they front run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think the halving is a little bit of cope. And I think statistically it's not a very strong relationship, if there is one at all. And if I told you it rained the last 4 Tuesdays, what are the and then told you there's 100% chance of rain next Tuesday,
Yep.
you'd say, yeah, dude, but I don't know. Like, I think you're seeing fucking patterns that don't really exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 4 times.
Mm.
The ETFs are a big deal. That's a change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pullbacks, guys, don't get into this sort of technical analysis-y stuff of the pullback's going to go to this percentage level and then it's going to do this and then it's going to go that. Bitcoin pulls back until buyers who got scared. Bitcoin was high because buyers were anticipating future price rises and very optimistic about the future of Bitcoin. That was the price they were willing to pay because they were factoring in further gains. Right now, the price that people are willing to pay for Bitcoin is a fair price without factoring in further gains, because they really deep down think that those gains are like very much a maybe instead of a, right? So that's why the price has dropped. How far will it drop? It drops until the people stop selling. Do we have evidence that people have stopped selling? Absolutely, we do.
Definitely. No, I agree with that. The downside is Ethereum is not holding pretty well. It is pretty weak. So from the relationship of Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin is the more strong one at the moment, like between Ethereum and Bitcoin, of course. So Ethereum is not holding pretty well, and that definitely affects our alt, I would say, in terms of but once we get a little bit more momentum, this could change pretty good. But still, if you look at the weekly on Ethereum, it's holding pretty well on those levels. So I think it's it's around the psychological level of between 3,000 and 2,800 sort of deal. It's very similar to Bitcoin in a way in terms of the pullback. So yeah, in terms of Ethereum, I had the same thing. Let me just the exchange balance on just change it.
In my mind now, I've started to think of Solana as the new Ethereum. Like
yeah, I definitely agree with you. I like you. One of the weeks, I made a video, and I think it's the fight between Solana, right, and Ethereum, who is sort of
in what
going
ways
first.
is Ethereum better than Solana? Like, it's just fucking not.
It's different. I will say it's a new sort of different network, so it has different purposes. Obviously, in terms of Solana and its marketing and low fees and all that sort of stuff actually attracting. And I do believe that in the long term, could be wrong though, but the thing that is pumping a lot of the Solana stuff is all the meme coins that you can actually develop on. Why you can't develop on? Because it's cheap. because it takes really a little bit amount of money in order to actually get into Solana, put your coin and pump it up, right? Like that's kind of the essence. Now, big projects are coming into Solana as well, but a lot of the really DeFi stuff is run on Ethereum still. Like it's a lot of like big Ethereum projects, or you can need to stake Ethereum into do different like Pendle and that all relies on to Pendle or Ethereum pools and stuff like that, right? So that's why I think it's still, a really good play in the long term. And that's why Solana is actually just, yeah.
Russell has it. It's the capital of Meanville. That is exactly right. It's ground central. And my opinion is the beating heart of crypto. Like what crypto really is the chance for a little guy to put a couple $100, $1,000 that he scrimped from his weekly paycheck into a coin, hit the big number, and then turn that into 7 or 8 figure lifetime wealth. Like whenever you see that start to happen, that is what crypto is. And that's something that you hear about that motherfucker, like the fucking whoa.
Yeah.
That's something that, on our marketing team, like our marketing team guys, like the ad buying guys and stuff like that, they're buying Solana meme coins. They ain't buying Ethereum.
Exactly. And that's kind of what the main game at the moment is between Solana and Ethereum.
I don't think that's over. I think memes are here to stay.
I think so. There is a bunch of memes that now are being converted into liquidity assets for exchanges. So take it for instance, there is there's a good way to attract liquidity into whatever. So I think it's like a business model now. I could be wrong. I need to do more research about it. But if you start thinking about the pattern in terms of airdrops and then meme coins and then all the stuff provides liquidity to these into projects or whatever, then I don't think meme coins now are that crazy. You know what I mean? But then it's just how the right meme coin is. It's like a lead magnet, taking it from that perspective into a marketing funnel, right? So it is kind of the same approach. I have, but that I don't think it's over, especially now on the Ton ecosystem and base ecosystem. You can start seeing a lot of new memes coming out, and they provide liquidity. It's a lot of like people putting money in there. So that could be, I don't think it's over yet. Definitely not.
I'm pretty happy with how FinRev is holding up. It's just flatlined, but
oh yeah, definitely, it's holding up pretty well because at the end of the day, you have FinRev up? Let me bring it up. Give me 1 second. Let me just stop the share now. I'll bring it up.
Interestingly enough, like while FinRev's kind of going sideways like this, I've spoken about my friend Monty a few times, who was the fiat guy, laughed at me a couple of years ago about crypto, recently reached out when Bitcoin was at all-time highs, that he'd thrown all his money into Bitcoin. Well, ever since that, I've just got messages from him about how all his funds are dwindling because he's jumped out of Bitcoin. And then he's jumped out of that one, and he's jumped into another one. So Monty is the classic. He's come along to the market when it's at its high, and then as it's coming down, he's just jumping into one loser after another after another.
Oh, it's so hard to see. Okay, so this is one of the classic mistakes: is the market's hurting your feelings, and you're trying to change that feeling by making a move. The move is sit on your fucking hands. Hands off the fucking steering wheel. You're in the number one risk for every single person on this call. The number one risk is that the industry that you followed for years obsessively, that you've pinned your hopes and dreams and outcomes in life on, the number one risk is you fucking it up and not allocating enough money or making a few bad moves and wiggling your stack down to zero. Don't overtrade. I don't overtrade. So there are times that you guys have seen me when I'm making 3 or 4 trades a day. I make 3 or 4 trades a day. If you see me doing that, you know that the sun is shining. It's super easy. It's free money on the ground. Pick it up. But you'll see I barely made a trade in the last month. You just fucking hands off the steering wheel. Well, this shit's hard. So
Mm.
market, one thing I need you to understand is that markets naturally cycle from very, very easy time into hard time. And then once it gets absolutely maximum, like cock punching time, then it starts to get easy again. And then it gets, at the moment, it gets maximum easy when it's just like free money. That's when you got to, that's when you got to have the experience to go, whoa, 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 it's too good, too long. Fucking paranoia kicks in. Like they're out. They definitely are out to get me. Fucking ease back on the wheel for a while. Like, and this is the natural cycle of things. And if you think about it, our DNA does not set us up. It sets us up for failure at everything. So everything that makes you a successful human, if you're successful in your other job, if you're successful in relationships, in life, in business and investments, all of those successful instincts that keep you safe in the world and prosperous in the world, absolutely fuck you doing this. So you've got to just learn to go against what you want to do.
Absolutely.
And it's that's kind of like that's the emotional game, right? And that's why FinRev is so successful, because obviously, even though you have the ups and downs, it doesn't get you up. Like it covers pretty much. It's steady in this shit.
So FinRev's
sort
down.
of-
FinRev's down 20% from highs at 45 volt. It's kicked
Exactly.
up in the last week. It's not a big deal. It's fine. It looks exactly like this. So you can have some confidence that it's just going to behave exactly like this. If we look at how it's positioned right now, if we look at Bitcoin, it's got almost no position.
But that's trend trading, right? That's the whole
AVAX,
mania.
AVAX was short. What else? BNB. I love this as a long. I mean, that looks good. Phil, short. Theory. Oh, let's look at Doge. Nothing. I mean, it's just wound positioning way back. Ethereum.
So are
Nothing.
we saying that FinRev is not revenge trading? You know, it's doing exactly what it
Yeah,
should.
it's the opposite of revenge trading, right?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that's happening at the moment is, or has been happening for weeks, and this is important, is it's boring. And when it gets boring, people are like, oh, can't really be fucked. Go to the exchange and do that 2FA and do this and do that. And then the people that don't get bored, the people that stay with it.
So there's two ways. There's two ways to shake us out, right? You can shake us out through boredom or through fear. I mean, I prefer. You know, you think I want something to happen. I want something to happen. It's like, no, not that, not like that. That's not what I wanted to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's the bottom. So I think really we've got two possibilities, and let's put some percentages on them. The first possibility is, okay, this is altcoin market cap. First possibility is, and you can see if we look recently, this bar is completely overlapped with the last bar, with the bar before that, mostly overlapped before. So what this tells us is that the market has found its fair level. For six days, we are where we were a week ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the price of altcoins, the market cap of altcoins anyway, is exactly where it was a week ago, and exactly where it was 2 weeks ago, and exactly where it was 2 weeks before that. That is fucking boring as fuck. That's a way to shake people out. So it could do one more fast to the downside, and then that would be a huge buying signal. On the other hand, you could say that it's already done that with this, and now we're ready to do that. I think those are the two highest probability outcomes here. What do you put those percentages for me, Ian?
So I think that,
and you can see the fake out.
I'm going to go with I'm going to go with 60-40. So 60 to that we go to the downside first. Maybe that's another really long wick, just a final shakeout.
Like,
And then
like this one where it previously happened. It looked good, and then it shook out, and then bam.
yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And you're going 40 the other way.
And 40 there, yeah.
What about you, Maurizio?
I have to add an extra one here, which is a full range for a while and start
Oh,
getting
yeah.
lower. You know what I mean? And I think that's a high probability in my case. Like just doing nothing for the next thing, like just being on that range, up and down. Yeah.
So we're talking about up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That volatility at the bottom there is starting to dwindle down as well, and big moves happen when volatility is, ground the bottom.
You can see the big move happened right after volatility hits its lows. This is an extremely common.
So the ATR, just for anybody watching, the ATR is a proxy for volatility.
ATR is the average true range, is the average size of the candle. Okay, so Maurizio, between the three, the sideways bullshit, the up and away, and the shakeout fake out, what are your positions?
So I got 40% on the range, right? And I got
but which way is the range going to break?
So that's the question. I think after it breaks, we have a lower possibility to the downside and a higher probability to the upside, because the more I think we are in the range, and whatever breaks first is going to be the winner. You know what I mean? If we have a longer range and it breaks above, more than likely is going to be the fact that it's holding. I think I will say 30% on the upside, and then so it gives me 30 and 20%. Yeah, 20% downside.
Okay, so Maurizio is roughly equal weighted between some sort of random bullshit that looks like this, between this, and between this. That's probably the best answer. That's probably the best answer. I think that's probably a better answer than my answer. I'm biased to the bull side. So in my mind, I think we're about 55% on here. But so for me, the totality of the evidence is that we're in a bull market and retail hasn't shown up yet. Institutions are in. I know that institutions are here because I'm talking to my institutional trader friends about how our cross-sectional carry alpha is decaying. And he's like, yeah, it's happening to mine too. I think it's because there's so many basis traders here stealing our lunch.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, things I want to look at. This is the CME, Chicago Mercantile Futures Open Interest. So this is institutional interest. You can see that here, that they shook right out and they've started to add open interest just at the end. Let's look at that. That's for a year. Let's look at it for 3 months. So we're starting to see like the first little green shoots of this coming back. It's a bit too early to say, and you can see that the futures volume has been steadily dropping last week until we started to come back. That's probably a seasonality thing. There's probably a Friday effect on Bitcoin, which is something that James is looking at today. Our basis trade in January our basis trade is the risk-free trade that you can get from buying Bitcoin ETF and shorting Bitcoin CME futures. So this is the institutionals. What can they get for risk-free? And 16% risk-free was pretty attractive. that dropped back to 6%, 6.24%, which is not attractive compared to a 4% treasury. Now it's at 10%. That's starting to become attractive again. You can see that once it hit here before, once it hit 10% was mid-October, and that was roughly when our bull market kicked off. So I think this weighs the odds to the upside, and you can see the same thing happening with options volume, and options open interest is just starting to come good. Now, something very interesting in Solana is that on this shakeout, our spot volume through the roof, highest spot volume since the big fuckery. And while price was still fucking around, open interest on the futures started to accumulate. Then price started to go up and they've sold out. So that's a story as old as time. This one's going to pull back intraday. But we have the big liquidation candle here. And you know, anytime you're intraday trading and you see a liquidation candle, you can almost assume that it's pushed far from fair value, and you can try and ladder your bids down in here and get a quick scalp. You know, this is the bread and butter of leverage traders everywhere. Is people are getting liquidated. So where are we? Bigger picture. Wiped out a lot of this. Let's make this a 12-hour chart so we can see a bit more of it. So this is our open interest, which is our speculative interest. You can see here, this was the clue. And this is always the clue, by the way. This is always the clue at the end of any major run. And this is why we told you guys to bank profits and stop using leverage there. It's because as open interest goes down, while price is going up after it's been going up for a while, what that tells us is that leverage traders are closing their positions. Leverage traders are getting out of the game, banking their profits, taking their bat and ball and going home. And then we need to wipe off some speculation. Now we're back to the level of speculation that we roughly were before this shit all started. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at a couple of other things while we're here. Let's look one out first. So Doge, nothing much happening there. I want to look at with $3 for WIF. What a crazy thing.
I know. I know, man. I know. That's why I think the some institutions are actually getting all this liquidity to start building projects, and the amount of airdrops coming up in the next couple of months are just insane. I'm just following around a little bit of the airdrop world, and it's just insane the amount of shit that is coming, man.
Yeah, and keeping in with that Solana meme coin thing. Okay, for a start, let's look at the swiggle charts and see how broad the rally is. So where are we? Where are we doing that? I need to get back to April. So this is our most recent kind of fuck you. What's going on, doggy? So dog has a gardener to harass. So here's Bitcoin in the middle. What have we got beating Bitcoin? A few things, but not many. And we've got some of the really good coins down the bottom. Like Pendle, which I've got a big holding in, it's taking it right in the ass over the last sort of month or so. And a lot of the good stuff is taking it in the ass too. So we're certainly nowhere near an alt season yet. The thing I like, I think that's one of the best technical setups you'll ever see.
Mhm.
I think BNB on leverage is a really, really good trade. You can see that the signal that it was going to go down was the big God candle. The other stuff I like is Solana's starting to like solidify its price. I like this move off the lows. This was what I see and what I like to see, and I like to see the pullback as being chunky, like not sharp, but just chunky. I think there's a lot of under the hood buying pressure, which should spill into memes. And what are your guys? If I make you list 3 memes that you think are gonna bang that aren't like totally like fucking nothing, like no liquidity, like super, like if we're not talking about $100,000 and $1 million market caps, we're talking about memes that have a shot at the title. What do you like?
I have a small list because I've been tracking that so let's see what these guys come up with, and then I'll show you some of the stuff that I'm looking at.
So I really like Joe Biden. I think an election year, Joe Biden, that's probably a pretty smart play. There's a lot of liquidity in this coin. 225 million. It's a bit high for what it is, but but my point is it's already started to go. I still like Retardio. I think Retardio has amazing mind share and it's amazingly well followed on social media by really, really big influencers for the market cap that it's got, which is only $20 million market cap coin. In my mind, there's no reason why Retardio can't be a $220 million market cap very, very quickly. The other one, that's the obvious one, fucking election year, Trump. Dolan Trump. Nice price action, shook everyone out, going up in a down market. Trump loves crypto. Dolan Trump. 1.7 mil liquidity, 60 mil market cap. I think this is a banger. Is my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
These things, they bang when they go onto centralized exchanges.
Exactly.
I don't know how to wave the magic wand to figure out which ones will go onto centralized exchanges. But that's like when we had that ridiculous win on Cock Inu. I think it's because we got in there before. Was it Binance that listed Cock?
We got in there. We got it. You got to get these things before before people are talking about it. You know, once they've gone, you want to be selling into that.
Or at least another possibility will be just once you get your profits, get your capital out and then hold it for, you know what I mean? Like, let's say you put $1,000 in or whatever, and then if you get 120%, you get your $1,000 back, and then you leave it there because if these things hit actually the exchanges, that's when the massive sort of influx of capital comes in, and then you can start banking those profits and leave some on the table just in case if these things just never end up falling. You know, so that could be another money management strategy that you can use for these things.
Red is another one that's done good too that people keep talking about. So Aaron, I have the Whiff Bowden hat thing. It doesn't even have a price. You probably got scammed there, bro. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get scammed on memes.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's a challenge in terms of all this stuff. You have to be aware that, yeah.
So what do you do this week? You're holding stuff. Do you buy more? What we've said is that there's roughly a 50-50 probability. There's equal probability that we're going to be back next week going, first of all, fuck, another boring week. We're in the same place we were last week. that's probably a high that's probably one of about equally weighted probabilities. The next probability is that we're substantially higher and it's off to the races again, and you're really happy you bought. And the other probability is that we have a really scary week and it's a buying them. Now, of those three, they're about equal. So how do you play that? If you're holding, you still hold. You think it's going to be higher in a month than it is now. I think the overwhelming probability is that it's going to be higher in a month than now. I'm not worried about, unless you're using leverage, you shouldn't be worried. If you absolutely need to make money today, the shit that's making money today is the stuff that's already going up, which is render, which is BNB.
AR, and AR as well is pretty strong. So I have a.
Do you want to share the stuff that you like, please, Brent?
Yeah, I'll show you some stuff that I'm following. We had some positions, some good positions last week, and I want to talk about those ones. Because last week we entered on Ton, finally, and it's actually doing pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually wanna see if we can start managing some position around this one on the highs. There is a lot of thought about the listing on Binance and stuff like that. So wouldn't be a bad idea to grab some profits here, just because the fact that Ethereum and Bitcoin are not there yet. Okay, so that's what I wanna sort of aim to. We enter on SITA as well. So SITA is still holding pretty well. I wanted to start banking some profits around here. Same thing as time, and W is holding right there. This is like airdrop coins, guys. So obviously this is coins that have been airdropped, and more than likely is a highly possibility that they need, the price will hit these highs again. So, and good projects that it can continue on. Things that I'm looking into, new meme stuff, right? Or not new, still stuff that I've been tracking for the whole week is, where are my memes? Okay, so definitely bread is one of them. So bread could come back pretty quick. It's now being sort of listed on different exchanges in terms of perp. So this could actually come back really, really big. Pepe is actually pretty strong, but it's, it is right there on the breakouts. I wouldn't enter right now, like with the meme stuff. Now it's like, if you think about it from the perspective that if you enter now, there's a highly possibility that this could drop, like this could actually have a pullback, right? Can this continue on? Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of strength on memes at the moment, a lot of strength. But
I
things
like
that
Pepe as a meme. I think as a meme coin, like Pepe is a top tier meme.
Definitely, I agree. Same thing with WIF as well. So WIF now is on the pullback. So I'm looking at this one as well. But in terms of higher possibilities, I'm looking at Foxy. Foxy, been looking at for a while. Is the meme coin from MetaMask sort of deal, and is line up a bunch of airdrops in the coming things. So this could be a good opportunity to get those, because obviously I don't think with PIP and WIF you're gonna have the same probabilities of new memes coming into the market, right? New stuff is actually has a better chance in bull runs right now at the beginning. So that's what I'm tracking on that. I'm tracking also Slurf. This one as well. It's losing a lot of momentum, but it's a lot of interesting marketing that's going around it. And PopCat is already sort of following that. So those are the memes that I'm looking at that are already on the exchanges. I'll do some more. I have a bunch of stuff that it's not in the exchanges yet, so I'll start giving you guys this week on those ones as well, because those ones could be the high risk, high return sort of place for these coming weeks. But in terms of the strength, like the biggest strength that I'm looking for, definitely AR. AR is actually pretty strong, man. Like,
That's a great looking chart, dude.
Yeah.
Have you got a buy set up on that?
No, I missed it completely because, I was telling you guys that I wanted to actually get into on 30, and I completely missed it. Like, I missed my entry around these levels on this pullback, and then
Dude, I'm gonna buy some of this.
But this one, very strong, man. out of all the AI coins, this is the strongest thing that is actually holding pretty well. So there's a highly probability that this will continue on. It's pretty safe. Like, it's not safe, I would say, but it's a good project. It hasn't come down.
This shitcoin that they found a way to shoehorn AI into their white paper or fucking chat GPT that it's got fuck all to do with AI, like without knowing the coin. Like none of them have anything to do with AI. But yeah, it's pretty safe.
Yeah, and all this AI stuff is just have in mind that all AI crypto stuff, there's just proof of concepts at the moment. There's nothing like not really good technology behind it. It's nothing. So
promise
so
not
have
to
that
come
in
in
mind.
now. It's like, oh, dude.
However, that's why I think why RNDR as well is actually so strong, because RNDR has been like the story of RNDR is quite interesting from the like these guys started as a video streaming sort of deal in terms of actually hiring GPUs for video streaming or for video rendering sort of deal. When the metaverse came along, like, you know, it was a good business model. But now these guys are actually renting that for AI stuff. So that's why this one's transition. So that's why RNDR I think is still a really, really good bet long term. Is the you know, it's a strong company that has pivoted around different strategies from their own business. The same structure, but now it's focusing on an AI infrastructure, which is good. So yeah, that's why AI is actually pretty. Out of the AI coins that are like RNDR and AR are my top ones, I guess. Yeah.
What about you, Ian? What do you like here?
Well, on the main side, I've got no evidence to back this up whatsoever, other than my mate told me about Mewcoin, MEW, and I'll tell you exactly how he told me about it. This is gonna fucking bang, dude. All right, nice one. And I just aped into it because part of me still loves doing that. So Mewcoin is one that I've got to look into. Dog with Hat, I still believe that has got a lot more potential in it. I'm building up a position on Retario. I got some for I think 17 cents yesterday, so I'm pretty heavy on that.
Dog we've had is a real coin now. It ain't going anywhere. And
No.
I saw this Solana fucking video of a Solana conference on the weekend, and Ansem, who's the dog with hat guy, he's on the dance floor, and it's a crypto conference, so there's not one single bitch. It's like an absolute 100% sausage fest. And this dude's like, he's like a 6'5" black guy, and he's really cool and charismatic. He's an okay guy. And there's a dance floor with all these fucking crypto nerds, like trying to get his attention. It's the gayest thing you've ever seen. Like, fucking retarded.
The other one that I'm really excited about is our friend Wu. I've got bids in at 21, 18, and 16. And that motherfucker, 5x's if it goes up to like 90 cents, if you know what I mean.
Oh my God.
Thing's going to bang.
It's one day it's going to bang. And you remember our plan was to sell at 45 and buy them back at 25. I sold half at 45, sold some more at 60, and now it's fucking, so I fucked that one up.
So I'm really bullish on Wu again. I also like Philcoin as well, and I'm looking to get some low bids on that as well. And I think that has got a look at the old all-time highs on that. That thing can just, if it reaches old all-time highs, whew, if you buy some of that now, and we've I need to check the trade log if we're still open on.
Yeah, we're still open on that one. Let me share.
So
I like Phil as a coin, but you know the game right now is the strongest horses in the race. The two that I'm the reddest hot on are not performing particularly well, which is Pendle and ENA. I think they just need some bull market too.
I agree. Still Pendle in terms of our position looks good. ENA, yeah, it's losing a little bit of momentum, but it's still holding pretty well right there. So this is up to 2 entries. Yeah, me too on this ones. And we went over last week with ENA staking and and USD staking and all that sort of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff that is happening on the INA ecosystem that yeah, it could get really, really strong, and this can change pretty quick. I think everything is getting to the strength of Ethereum and Bitcoin at the moment. As soon as these things start gaining a little bit of traction, all the stuff is going to pump more than likely. We're just going to increase in value dramatically, I guess.
Nice. And then we can do that. We can look at these coins using that Ethereum as a marker as well. Like we look at the ETH BTC chart, and then we also look at each of these altcoins and compare them, like the altcoin USD and the altcoin ETH. And then that's another way of trying to sniff out what has got the strength in the market at the moment. That's if you want to do that kind of research. If you don't want to do that kind of research, then just, you know, market by the trades that are that are open.
The spaghetti charts that are working are render, render and rune, BNB. One thing I want to take a quick look at before we go is Pendle. Pendle liquidity pool market. Okay, so a new total value lock protocol transactions. Where's the total value locked? Wow. A lot of people, like revenue wise, it's continuing to work, right? It's because I know several institutional traders. You can see, I know several institutional traders who are just, one guy is my mate Alba, who's a portfolio manager he worked for Paul Tudor Jones as a portfolio manager. And he's a shit hot guy, and he got his FTX claim back, got a couple of $1 million and just shoved it straight in Pendle. Ninja's probably, let me check. Fuck all liquidity, and yeah, I wouldn't sell Ninja, because if memes come good or INJ comes good, it's probably going to go. We bought it here, so it's just been a pain in the ass. Double, didn't take profits, decimated. If we get another bull run in memes, it'll go again. Most memes are either like should be hit it or quit it, but it's not really worth selling it. Nice. And Marlon, thank you very much. I fucking hate FTT. God damn it. Next, you're telling me that BSV is up too. Yeah, at least BSV is lower.
Next, they'll let him out of prison early, and FTT will moon. No.
He ain't getting out. All right, guys.
To the top of an hour. That was a really great call. So
I enjoyed it.
The market is what it is. We can't make it do what we want it to do. We've just got to look at it. Sometimes that means take the hands off the wheel, relax. But I don't
think there's anything to do here. I don't think there's honestly, I think we're good. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, guys.
All right.
See ya.
See everybody in the group.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.